Hello, lovely people. It is Victoria. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So I am continuing on my filming kick in making videos more often and talking about things that have been rattling around in my brain, some of which I have thought of recently and others that I've been meaning to make videos on for a while but just kind of never did. I have been settling into who I am as a person that makes videos, especially the ones talking about myself, and think about what I've always been comfortable sharing online, and do I still do that, and the things that I want to talk about and want to represent. But I do really like connecting with people over being honest. Obviously you can't be like 100% honest all the time, and you gotta manage expectations of other people for your own transparency about your life. And I really like connecting with people over similar experiences or feeling related to, and I want to continue doing that in the way that I feel comfortable, and we're kind of rediscovering what that is. But I do feel there's a freedom in like moving forward in what I want to do. I want to embrace this transparency over the things that I've previously done and the lives that I have previously lived on the internet. Even if they may not necessarily be recoverable, they are probably in some people's minds still, or memories, or able to be conjured up. And also just for myself, and feeling that I am being honest with myself and with other people, and not, or just living as openly as I can online, given what I have previously put online. I need to stop hitting the mic. I've realized how sensitive this mic is, I think, even the cord to being touched in any way, so hearing this back in editing is going to be interesting. But this is a story that I have been thinking about telling for a long time, because it was just very kind of YN, but it was of one of my first nights in college. I was in college for 6 years, and I do want to do a college memories video in conjunction with this kind of like trilogy that I want to have to go with my childhood memories video. I want to also do my high school memories and my college memories in kind of like preparation for my album. Artistic exploration wise, it's been really nice. Also, I keep having dreams and seeing different symbols of rebirth and transformation and shedding shame and things like that, and I kind of am feeling like some signs and some patterns that are pointing to a common message. My cat is digging into me. And the college memories video is probably the one that I'm most nervous about making, probably because it's the most recent, and I did have moments that I was proud of, but also just like it was a very sporadic time. It was pretty inconsistent in a lot of ways, and I've had to reconcile with some regrets of how I handled it, and trying to be compassionate to myself for that period of my life that I was in. And I was really grateful for the resources and support that I had. I probably should have advocated for myself and gotten more. Like, I probably should have gotten, or like seen if I could have gotten accommodations. I didn't have a terrible GPA, but I didn't have a great or even really a good one. It was like pretty fair. But I did learn a lot in college, and I've had to be reminded recently to appreciate the things that I learned and the things that I went through and experiences that I gained. I feel like I got to know myself a lot better. So I did college for 6 years, and I did 1 year at one university and then moved to a different state and did 5 years at the second university. And this story takes place, I think, my second night. It was like my first full day on campus, but it was my second night there. My roommate had not come in yet. I was the first one in my dorm to get there. It was just a 2-person room. It wasn't too far away from where I lived at the time with my family, so they brought me there, and then they dropped me off the day before, so it was my first full day there on my own. I had gotten pretty acquainted with some other people on my dorm floor. I would later end up switching majors, and I did have the option of moving into a different dorm area, but I chose not to because it would just have been a giant inconvenience. And my family ended up moving to a different state before I did, so they were gone at the time, and I wouldn't have really had anyone to help me, and I would have had to move like across campus. I was like, let me not do this. So I was kind of in the oldest and worst dorms on campus for a year, so that was fun. So we had been to an orientation event thing at the rec center, and I'd somehow met this older woman who was an alumnus, and she was kind of familiar with some other girls on my dorm floor. I think they had previously known each other from a Bible study group that was nearby. So she was from this church, and she was also an alumnus, I think, and she was with this youth group program, and she was coming on campus to get acquainted with new students, and I kind of connected with her, and she was really nice. And she ended up inviting me to this was on the first day of, orientation, like move-in day. And then I think a little later on, she invited me to a party that was the next night. And so that is when this story takes place. So I had gotten more acquainted with these other girls on my dorm floor. We had gone to an on-campus new student thing with different clubs, and we were talking to different Greek life organizations. I ended up mentioning that I had been invited to this party and asked if they wanted to come with me, that it was a church group event, and they were like, that sounds really fun. It was a pool party. The older woman from the church group picks us up. We are all talking, we're connecting, I'm feeling really gassed up. We go to this pool party. It's a dry party, but it's super fun. I come really close to asking the DJ if I can do a song in front of everybody because I was having main character syndrome, and I feel like it was kind of being encouraged by other people that were there, but I can't blame them. Thankfully I didn't, though. That probably would have been a little bit of a vibe shift. But we had a really good time at this party, and then I started hearing talk from the other girls about going to a different party later on that had alcohol, and we were at a university that is pretty known for its party culture. That wasn't the reason I had gone to this university. I actually forgot the backstory. So basically I had a bit of a saga before I went to college in the summer between high school and college where I had a few different things with kind of creepy older young men when I was not even legal and then barely legal. And one of these people lived and worked in the area of this school, and I was in a weird flux situation where I knew where I wanted to go to school, and I had a backup, and my backup was working out, and I got accepted to my school, my dream school, but I probably wasn't going to be able to pay for it, and I still had options, but for some reason I just decided to go with the school that was relatively easier to get into, just because it was closer to this dude that I had been talking to for 2 weeks. And I just kind of settled on this school. It was local. The other schools were out of state. So yeah, I kind of had settled on this school because of a dude that by the time I had started at the school, I wasn't even talking to anymore. It was that short-lived. But I didn't dislike the school. It was an okay environment, and I was connecting with people that I had met so far. I keep looking at myself in the screen and not in the little camera at the top. I need to get better at this still. So the girls and I went to this pool party. We had fun. We came back to our dorms. We kind of took a second and then headed out to go to these other parties that we heard were happening nearby. We were splitting Ubers, and we did not expect this, but we ended up taking 3 Ubers to 3 different parties because they kept getting shut down. It was funny because this area and the school was very well known for its party culture, but the parties kept getting shut down. 2 of them, we knew they were shut down before we even entered them. We were walking towards them after we had just gotten dropped off in the Uber, and we had to immediately get other ones. But then the 3rd party, we show up at this party. I'm pretty sure they were out of alcohol by the time we got there. It wasn't too packed, but it was still fairly poppin'. There wasn't even anything to drink, but we just started kind of cleaning up and just kind of helping out the people that were there. There were 4 of us in this group. Within a minute, someone is saying that the cops are outside, that they're on the street, and then all of a sudden there's a freaking knock at the door, and everyone starts rushing towards the back of the house. I am stone cold sober. I haven't done anything wrong, and we all, of course, are running into the backyard and then through a fence. But we get into this just kind of stretch of dirt road behind this house, and we are running, and there's flashing lights, and then we get into the neighborhood near the house, and we just start walking, and we are planning on getting another Uber and one of the girls was talking about, y'all just will need to Venmo me back for your portion of the Uber because we're like going through a lot of them right now. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then we meet this guy, and this guy looks like 21-ish. I don't know how we ended up talking to him. He struck up a conversation with us somehow. We were like passing by. He was asking like what was happening, why everyone was suddenly rushing away from the same place, and we were talking about the cops are nearby, and we had been there for a minute. We didn't even like have a drink or anything, but shit started going down, so we had to leave. This guy was talking about how he was a DJ and he had a gig, but the party got shut down, so he had to leave too. So his night was kind of a bust, and he was hanging out with his 3 friends in this van, and he asked us if we wanted to come with them to, I don't even know, I think it was like to find a party. I don't think they mentioned a specific party, and it ended up like not working out or what it was, but they somehow, I don't know, I like thought I was smart. I don't know why we all agreed to this. I think maybe because we were like in a group, and we all had phones, and we just thought that we could somehow handle the situation. But we got into the stranger's van, and he literally made a joke about it of like, okay, come on into the van. And we thought because he was like self-aware about it that it would be fine. And so we ended up in the stranger's van, and we're all like, we're gonna save money on Uber, and and it didn't matter. But we get into this van, and there are 4 dudes. I think like with the guy that we had just met included, 2 of them were under 21 and 2 of them were over 21. We end up driving around. I get like a crush on one of the dudes in the car, but another girl that I'm with, like, I think very obviously was into him too. I think I was super obvious about it too. And she's like rubbing his shoulders and stuff, and I'm like feeling all like I don't know what to do, and do I do something, and should I try to impress him, the guy that I'm like feeling weird about. And he suggests, like, let's go to CVS or something, and I'll steal wine, and I'll get away with it because I'm white. And everyone is just like, oh my god, great idea. 2 of the guys that we're with are over 21, and so I'm pretty sure one of them offers to get us alcohol. But I think the guy that came up with the idea just wanted to, like, have the thrill of carrying out this idea and trying to get away with stealing wine or something. So we park outside of a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that, and like 10 minutes go by. He's sending us text updates from inside the store, but he basically gives up. He's like, they were watching me, they're too aware of what I was trying to do. We end up just going to a liquor store, and the people that are of age ended up buying us alcohol. And then we ended up going back to our dorms with these people that I don't believe went to our school, but we went into like a dorm complex area, stairs up to this balcony terrace situation in the courtyard in the middle of our dorms, and we were just drinking up there. It was like kind of a kickback situation. There was like not uncomfortably loud music, but there was like music, and people were drinking, people had their pens. It was funny that we had just traversed the blocks surrounding our campus, and then weren't able to like do anything because everything was shut down, but we literally went into the campus itself, into our actual dorms, and we're just doing shit, and no one said anything, and like other people kind of joined in, and no one really alerted our RA. If she knew, she didn't care, she didn't do anything about it. But I ended up like connecting and flirting with this other dude, one of the ones that was legal enough to have bought us alcohol, and we're vibing, and it's like a good situation. I end up actually giving him a shoulder massage, because I was like I just wanted to give someone a shoulder massage. I felt like for some reason I would be like proving myself with that or something. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did in fact pick this shirt because it reminded me of a Dixie cup. A painting as well, but also a Dixie cup. And I love the bowling dad shirt effect of it, but I don't wear this enough. So back to my story. I ended up inviting this dude back to my dorm that was nearby. I texted him or Snapchat DM'd him or something, and was like, I'm going back to my room. Do you want to come with me? I don't have a roommate, LOL. And he ended up coming back to my room, and we started kissing, and stuff started happening. And then I go to get a condom from the lockbox that I just put all my stuff in the day prior, and I think that I did have the right combination, but for some reason I wasn't putting it in correctly. It just was not opening for me, so I couldn't get to my condoms. And then something about it clicked for me where I was like, if I'm not able to get into the lockbox to get my condoms right now, and I can't comprehend why I'm not able to do it, like maybe I don't fully know if I want to do this, and maybe I should take a second, maybe this isn't the best idea, I don't know. So I was just like, well, I can't do this without a condom, we can't go any further. And the guy wants to do it without a condom, and I was like, no, that's not going to happen. I literally just met you. I need to get a clean STD test before anything like that happens. And so he ends up leaving. And that was the end of my first full day in college. Things ended up not working out with that guy either. The 21, 22-year-old that bought a freshly 18-year-old girl and some other college freshman alcohol, which yeah, that's normal, but maybe it's not customary for everyone, but that felt like a rite of passage experience. I was like, I'm living my life by talking to older dudes and having them buy me alcohol and having them think that I'm attractive and wanting to have sex with me and whatever. So maybe it's not that outlandish, but I later on was saying that I didn't want anything serious to develop, and he was telling me that I was super young and I shouldn't say what I do and don't want, and that I don't know what I want. And I was like, well, I know what I want for right now, and I believe in that, so I'm going to follow that, and that's good enough for me, and I don't really need you to tell me that. And so things fell off after that. Then I had another relationship situation. I really I was really trying to dabble in the pool of people. I was trying to just have experiences and try to gain some sexual experience that I enjoyed more. After my main first experience that I talked about in a previous video. That was basically the story. So I hope y'all enjoyed that story. I've always thought that was a funny story, and it was very kind of indicative of the adjustments that I felt myself making when I was going into college. It was a very important time in my life. That was a huge shift in a lot of ways, and I could definitely expand upon it in the future. So let me know what you thought. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I am averaging about 2 videos a week right now, but right now I'm just in kind of this thing where I am doing more than that. Kind of want to see how long I can consistently just make stuff, and we're going to see how that works out. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye!